This channel has taken a popular niche and flipped it on its head in the most unexpected way, and honestly, the results are nothing short of mind-blowing. As you can see from here, they uploaded their first video just 10 months ago, but the channel is already closing in on 10 million views with over 130,000 subscribers. If you're wondering what they're doing, the answer is quite simple. They're making music videos, yet not in the way you'd expect. Instead of the usual approach, they use a medieval theme to tell the story of a knight who finds moments of rest after completing heroic tasks. But what really sets them apart is how they create their visuals. Instead of standard images, they use stunning pixel art paired with a short backstory at the start of each video. This immediately draws viewers in before the ambient music takes over, creating a soothing atmosphere within seconds. But this channel isn't the only one killing it with this strategy. There's another channel called Medieval Dream that has raked in more than 49,000 subscribers. And this other one is also killing it with a similar strategy. The best part about this whole niche is that you don't need to spend even an hour on editing. Yes, it's that simple. The only thing you really need is to properly brand your channel, generate some intriguing ideas and music for each video, and most importantly, create enough content, which is very necessary if you want to succeed in this niche. Oh, and if you're one of those people who think channels like these can't be monetized, let me show you something that might change your mind. First, head over to the Chrome Web Store and search for YouTube Monetization Checker. Install the extension, then go back to the channels page and refresh. Now, look at the top of your browser for the extension icon. It should look like this. Click on it and you'll see a button that says, "Check this channel." Just click it, and in a few seconds, you'll know whether the channel is monetized or not. And as you can see, this channel is fully monetized, just like these other two. So yes, this niche isn't just simple, but also very monetizable. Now, before you jump into this niche, let me be completely real with you. If you want to see real success, you have to be consistent. This isn't one of those niches where you can post a single video and expect to go viral overnight. It just doesn't work that way. Consistency is very important for this one. Take this channel, for example. They've already uploaded over 160 videos, and these other two are just as committed, consistently putting out fresh content. But here's the good news. These videos are ridiculously easy to create. In fact, this might just be the simplest niche I've ever worked with. You can literally make and upload a video every single day. All it takes is 20 to 30 minutes and you've got a fully finished video ready to go. And here's the best part. I'm going to give you the full blueprint for creating this style of video. To make sure you can follow along easily, I've put together some awesome prompts that'll simplify the entire process for you. You can find them in a handy Google Doc, which I've linked in the prompt channel of my Discord server. Just check the description below or head over to my channel page for the link. Now, if you're ready to dive into this game-changing niche, let's get started. Normally, I'd walk you through the whole channel creation process, but let's skip that for now. However, if you're new to channel creation and branding, don't worry, I've got you covered. Just check out some of my past videos and you'll get a solid idea of how to set everything up. Now let's move on to the fun part. Since this niche doesn't require scripting, all we need to do is come up with a title that sets the theme for the video. It's quite easy to come up with these topics, so don't be afraid to get creative. But to make things even simpler, just head over to the Google Doc I mentioned earlier and copy this prompt. Now open your preferred text generator. This part is totally up to you, so you can either go with DeepSeek or ChatGPT. If you don't have a GPT Plus subscription, I highly recommend using DeepSeek. It delivers results just as good as what you'd get from ChatGPT's GPT-4o or 4 Turbo models. Now, once you've selected the tool you want to use, simply paste the prompt you copied earlier and scroll down to the bottom. You won't need to tweak much, but there's one important thing you do need to change: the number of titles you want to generate, so choose however many you want. In this case, let's go with 20. Once everything looks all right, go ahead and hit enter, then wait for ChatGPT to generate some pretty cool titles for your videos. Check out some of these awesome title ideas. Take your time and go through them, then pick the one that stands out to you the most. If nothing catches your eye, no need to worry. Just hit regenerate and you'll get a fresh list of topics in seconds. Once you've chosen a title, it's time to move on to the next step, creating the image for your video. Keep in mind that these channels use pixel art style images, so yours should follow the same approach. Also, make sure your image visually represents the title you've selected. But here's the thing, this part is actually pretty simple, as you can go all out with your creativity. To make things even easier, I've already prepared a prompt that will help streamline the process. So just copy the full prompt and head back to ChatGPT. Now go ahead and paste the prompt. Before generating the image, we need to make a few quick adjustments. First, scroll to the top of the prompt. The first thing you'll customize is the character. You can choose any character you want, depending on how you want to brand your channel. For example, if you want to base your visuals around a gladiator, you can add that in. But since we're sticking with the medieval knight theme, simply remove everything else, leaving only that one. Next, scroll down to the bottom and replace this placeholder text with the title you selected for your video. For this demonstration, I'll be using this simple title. Now all that's left is to hit enter and wait for ChatGPT to generate the prompt. Once that's done, the next step is to generate the image. There are plenty of image generators out there, but not all of them can create the pixel art image style. So I'm going to show you two of my favorites. If you don't like either of these, feel free to use whichever tool you prefer. But the tools I'm about to show you are free to use. The first one is a tool called CArt. Just like most other AI image generators out there, this one provides a free plan, which includes free daily credits. You may not be able to generate hundreds of images daily, but it's more than sufficient for what you need. So head over to their website and sign up for a free account. Once you're logged in, you need to select one of the available models. So go to the left sidebar and hit Models. Then go to the search bar and type Azib Pixel Style. Choose this model and click Remix. You'll be taken to the image generation page. To make sure the model you selected has been added, check the left sidebar. You should find the name of the model you selected under Additional. But just in case it's not showing, simply hit the back button and select Remix a second time. As you can see, the model we chose is now available. Now there's one very important thing you need to do. Decrease the strength to somewhere around 0.5. You'll understand why soon. Then head over to the image settings and select the 16:9 aspect ratio for long-form content. Next, you can choose how many images you want to generate at once. Keep in mind that the number of credits you have is limited, so I recommend starting with one image at a time. This way, you can test and tweak your settings without burning through your credits too quickly. Once you've got that set up, go to the text area and paste the prompt you copied from ChatGPT. No need to make any changes here, just hit generate and wait for the process to be completed. It typically takes a few seconds for your image to be ready. As you can see, the first result is in a perfect pixel art style, which is exactly what we need. But if you want to refine it further, you can play around with the strength of the model. For example, if you decrease the strength of the model and regenerate, you'll get something like this, a finer, more detailed image that moves away from the typical pixel art look. It's smoother and has a different kind of charm. On the other hand, if you increase the strength, you'll end up with an extremely pixelated image, which might be too rough for what is needed for this niche. So you can play around with the settings till you're satisfied with the results, but I recommend keeping it somewhere from 4 to 6. This range usually gives you the best balance, enough pixelation to keep that retro feel, but still clear and visually appealing. Now this looks cool, but let me show you how to use the second tool. I'm sure you've heard of Google Image FX. It's a fantastic tool for generating visuals quickly and easily. If you haven't used it before, no worries. Just head over to Google, type Google Image FX into the search bar, and click on the first result. Once you're there, go ahead and sign in with your Gmail account. The best part is that this tool is completely free, so you don't need to worry about paying anything. After logging in, you'll land on this page where you can paste the same image prompt you used earlier. Just like before, choose the 16:9 aspect ratio for that widescreen look and hit Create. In just a few seconds, you'll see your images generated. As you can see, it creates 4 images at once, all in that pixel art style we're going for. The results are pretty impressive, and you can definitely use these for your video. Both of these tools work perfectly, except that Google Image FX doesn't have the same level of customization as CArt. You can't tweak the strength of the model. However, the upside is that the results are still pretty cool. And as far as I know, there's no limit to the number of images you can generate. So it's a great option if you want to experiment freely without worrying about credits or restrictions. So feel free to choose whichever one you prefer for your video. Now that the images are ready, it's time to bring them to life with some animation. You don't need complicated movement. A flickering fire works perfectly for what we want. You can do it in 2 ways. The first one is pretty simple. Just head over to a site like Vecteezy and search for a pixel fire video. Scroll through the results and grab whichever one you prefer. In this case, I'll select this one. Open CapCut and add the pixel art style image and the video of the fire you downloaded. Select the pixelated fire video and use the chroma key to remove the green background. There are 2 flames in this video, so go to Mask and select this one. Now rotate the mask, making sure one of the flames is hidden, and select Basic. Now you can position and resize the flame over the one in the image. As you can see, this works perfectly for adding that cozy, flickering effect without overcomplicating things. But if you want something a bit more polished, you can use an AI video generator like Kling AI. Here's how it works. Head over to Kling AI and select AI Videos. Choose Image to Video, then add a short description to guide the AI. In this case, I'll add a pixel art style image of a medieval knight quietly resting by a bonfire. Now, upload your selected image and choose the video duration. Kling AI gives you the option to choose between 5 and 10 seconds, but I recommend going with 10 seconds. So select that and hit generate. The video looks good, but in case you face this issue where the AI flips the image halfway through the video, simply regenerate the video, and you'll likely get a better result the second time around. Once you're happy with the output, go ahead and download it. The next step is to generate the music. This part is actually pretty straightforward, so you can use whichever music generator you prefer. But if you're looking for a great option, Suno and Udio work perfectly for this style of music. For this demonstration, I'll be using Udio, so head over to Udio's page and hit Create. Since we're going for an instrumental track, make sure you select that option and move on to the description. You can type something like medieval, slow tempo, soft harp, and hit Create. Once the music is generated, play it back and see if it fits the mood. If it doesn't quite hit the mark, just tweak the description and regenerate as many times as you need. You can even specify the exact tempo you want to make sure it's just right. Once you've found the perfect track, it's time to move on to the video editing. Feel free to use your preferred video editor, but CapCut works perfectly. But before you start editing, there's one more thing you need to do. If you've noticed, most of the videos from the channel we're modeling start with some kind of message or text at the beginning, so you'll want to create one for your video as well. Just go back to the Google Doc and copy this prompt. Paste it inside ChatGPT, scroll down to the bottom, and make one small change. Replace the placeholder text with your chosen title. Hit enter, and ChatGPT will generate a short message that works perfectly with your title. Now let's jump into CapCut and start putting everything together. First, import your files, in this case the video and the soundtrack you generated. Once they've been added to your project, the first thing you'll want to do is add the soundtrack to the timeline. Then bring in the video clip and place it above the soundtrack. Copy the video clip and paste to create a duplicate. We want the clip to be continuous, so there are two ways to do this. The first is to head over to the transitions and choose your preferred one. For this style of video, the mix transition works perfectly. Drop it between the two clips, and as you can see, the transition is almost invisible. I'm going to duplicate the clip again to show you the second approach. You just need to click the reverse button to reverse the video. This also creates a smooth transition, but there's a small catch. The fire appears to move in the opposite direction since the clip has been reversed. It's subtle and hard to notice, so it's still a viable option if you prefer this method. But for this demonstration, let's stick with the first approach using the mix transition. I'll go ahead and delete the reversed clip and select these two. Copy and paste them to create another set. Arrange them on the timeline and repeat this process a few more times until the video matches the length of your soundtrack. Don't forget to add transitions between these other clips as well. Since this style of video can go up to an hour or even longer, you'll want the music to match that duration. To do this, simply copy the soundtrack and paste it at the end of the first one. You can repeat this process as many times as necessary until you reach the desired length for your video. The next step is to add the text at the beginning of the video. But before we need to add a fade-in at the beginning of the soundtrack. Unfortunately, there's a limit to how much fade-in can be added, so we'll be using keyframes instead. Go to the point in the timeline where you want the sound to be fully audible and set a keyframe there. Then, go back to the very beginning of the soundtrack and decrease the volume to something like this. Now we need to add the text. So head over to text and grab the default text. Drop it inside the timeline and drag it to the right to increase its duration. Add the first statement and position it at the top of the screen. Make sure to scale it appropriately so it's easy to read but not too large. To give the text that perfect medieval pixel art vibe, you'll need to change the font. You can grab this font called Born to be Sporty FS from Google and apply it to your text. Now the text is looking good, but let's take it a step further. You need to add a shadow, so scroll down and select it. Play around with the settings till it looks something like this. The opacity should also be set to 100% and then move on to animation. You need to add an in and out animation. For the in animation, you can choose either type 1 or type 2 and increase the duration to about 1 second. This gives the text a smooth, deliberate entrance that fits the relaxed vibe of the video. For the out animation, make sure you choose wipe left and leave the duration at half a second. Now let's add some sound effects to bring the text to life. Head over to the audio, go to sound effects, and search for typing. Test out a few options and choose the one you like best. I already have a typing sound effect on my computer, so I'll add it at the beginning of the text animation. Trim it to match the intro animation perfectly, so the sound syncs up with the text appearing on screen. You'll need to repeat this process for all the other text elements, making sure each one lasts about 3 to 4 seconds. Leave about half a second of space between each transition to keep things clean and easy to follow. Don't forget to add the typing sound effect to all the entrance animations. Now the video is already looking great, but we need one final sound effect for the fire. Head over to Pixabay and search for a crackling fire sound effect. Once you've found the one you want, download and add it to the timeline. Feel free to adjust the volume if it's too loud. All that's left is to export the video at 1080p resolution. Now, if you found this interesting, you're definitely going to love this niche that's blowing up on YouTube right now.